guy's a super freak. Welcome back to the channel, boys. Today we're back on Reddit, jumping into r/self-improvement to find what we can do to improve our lives and to see what situations other people might find themselves in. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. First article here, 35 male and I've never dated in my entire life. So without giving too much detail, this guy starts off by saying, I'm aware no woman would want me. I'm not ugly, but I'm antisocial and a failure in everything else, and that's not going to change. Believe me, it won't. I almost don't even need to read the rest of the article. I think just his first sentence here describes absolutely everything that's wrong with what's going on in his life. The fact that he's just written himself that I'm aware no woman would want me, like that's such a terrible way to approach it. If you actually want some sort of improvement, that's not the way you're going to approach this situation. If he comes into it with this mindset of I'm aware no woman would want me, and I quote, and that's not going to change, believe me, it won't, it's not going to change, right? Because fundamentally, one thing we know is whatever you truly believe, right, that's going to become your reality. So if he truly believes it's not going to change, he's ugly, he's antisocial, he's a failure in everything, and it's not going to change, 100% it's not going to change, right? We could just end this video here. Like it was nice to watch you. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Take care. But you know, like that's it. That's the whole story. Really, my take on this before I finish reading it is it's the problem's completely with him, right? First thing he needs to do is change his mindset, needs to decide this will actually work. I can improve this situation, and then look for ways to do it. Because as long as he doesn't believe that's possible, his brain is not going to help him get there. He's never had sex either. Wow, that could be the second problem. Maybe he just needs a little bit of poontang to spice his life up, and then everything else will be sunshine and rainbows. But he doesn't want to go to a sex work. He wants to do it organically. He wants to do it the man way. This is not a rant, and he's not crying now. He was crying before. That's a great start. Don't take it the wrong way. Just an observation of my life. I'm aware that I'm a shitty, not functional weirdo, so of course I'm alone. Again, he's just making this terrible for himself. What does he expect if he's going to make his life awful? I just want to be loved once, just the way I am right now, man. I'm getting sad again. Okay, that's a really, really bad way to think, right? Ideally, we'd all love to be loved just the way we are, but if you're a man and you're not doing too well, unfortunately, that's not going to be enough, right? If you've got a really good character, you're the kind of person that someone would actually want to be with because you're working on something or it's in a rough patch at the moment, that's different, right? But if you decided this is your life, you're going to be miserable, you're going to be fat, you're going to be ugly, you're going to be antisocial, and you're going to be a failure in everything, and you want someone to love you like that, I don't think that's fair, right? We all want to be accepted for who we are, but sometimes we don't actually deserve someone to put that time and effort into us because of the way we are, right? There's prerequisites to it. Unconditional love. Like I remember for me, when I was like a teenager, probably like 13 to 16, right? Very different for me. I was a bit of a puss boy. I used to have this idea that you want to find someone to love you just the way you are, someone to almost like mother you a little bit, right? But what I learned pretty quickly is that's the exact opposite of what women want, right? They want someone who is going to take charge of their life, fix their shit, get themselves sorted, and get themselves going on the right track, and not being like overly emotional, weak, reactive to everything, and not like running to them to cry, etc. Like a lot of girls will say to you that
they want you to be like open to them and open up and like speak about how you're feeling, etc. Right?
And sometimes that's a good idea, but don't go too far with it. Don't turn your partner, your girl, whatever it is, into the person you vent to give your frustration and troubles to, because they might be nice about it for a while, but in the end, they're going to lose a lot of respect for you by you doing that, and it's going to really ruin the frame and the dynamic of the relationship. So I'm not trying to promote some sort of toxic alpha male, can't talk about your feelings thing, right? That's not what I'm trying to put, but you shouldn't go too far with it. Don't be a puss boy. At the end of the day, acknowledge that you got to pull your pants up, and you've actually got to do some hard stuff sometimes, and you got to look past the way you feel, and you got to do the right things regardless of your emotion. Because whenever I get into that sort of situation now where I'm not in the best headspace, etc., just know that it's only temporary, right? This too shall pass. If you're having a really good moment or if you're having a really bad moment, it's always going to pass. So before you decide to do something crazy, before you decide to go and cry to someone about it, before you decide to jump on Reddit and write an article complaining, acknowledge that this will pass, put your emotions to the side, and just try and think clearly about what you should be doing now to improve your life. And then when you're in a better headspace, that's when you can decide to take some action on that if you need to. And I have lost track of the amount of times that I'm so thankful that I did not say anything or do anything when I was feeling down, because I would have regretted it so much when I was feeling better. It was just an emotional thing. It wasn't actually a real problem. Yeah, so this guy here seems to agree with me. He says, hey bud, sorry to break the news here. The problem is you. The problem is how you think about yourself and your life. Exactly, just what I was saying before. He said it was a very similar situation. He tried to himself last year. He's 40 years old, didn't have a single tooth in his mouth. Wow, sounds like he had a bit of a rough one, chasing the dragon a bit too much perhaps. So he decided before he departed, give himself one more chance to get things right, see if he could find happiness. And then a year later, in the best shape of my life, I'm nurturing my first new friendships in over 20 years. I have a job I love and make great money at it. Nice. One of the biggest things with miserable people is they actually enjoy being miserable. Miserable people do not actually want to be happy. Emo kids, etc., right? They've decided they want to be miserable because they enjoy being miserable. And then they're going to look for miserable people to join them. And it's this never-ending cycle of shit, really, which I'll never break. It's all going to come down to you, right? You have to decide that you actually don't want to be miserable. You don't want to be that loser. And you got to decide that you do want to do some hard work to improve yourself and make yourself a better person for other people. And then you can actually, you might be able to bet a woman, you might get some pussy, and the whole world will turn into this beautiful, colorful rainbow if you do that. If you get your money up, get your funny up, the women will come after that, but you got to do what you got to do first. So you got Adventures of Mercury. I think you have serious depression based on what you wrote. I'm not a psychologist though. It is hard to understand what you go through for someone who would never experience those feelings. They recommend therapy. Have you tried therapy? Because depression can be hard to overcome and professional help might be a game changer. I think the problem as well when you're coming out of something like this is that all too often people will look to be babied out of it, right? This goes back to like the biggest problem I have with what he wrote here. I just want to be loved once, just the way I am right now. Looking for the easy thing, looking for someone who's going to take care of them and love them and baby them, even when they're actually, well, probably a piece of shit, right? If you decide to be a miserable person and never actually do anything his whole life, completely his fault. He doesn't deserve that. So a lot of people go looking for that easy way out, whether it be like him finding a partner who's going to baby him, love him just the way he is, no change required, or people recommending go talk to a therapist, you know, etc. Might be a good idea, but at the end of the day, the biggest thing to do is say, okay, I fucked up, right? It was all my fault. You just have to take the hard path, which you should have taken 20 years ago, and say, nah, enough of this. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to do something about it. This isn't going to be me anymore. I'm not going to make it part of myself. Let's move on.
Let's be a cool cunt.
Like Ziz said, don't be a sorry cunt, be a sick cunt. Do one of those ones. Grumpy Kitten references that comment. You've mentioned in a lot of comments that you want someone to love you as you are and don't want to make any changes or can't change or grow, which is untrue, as we're all capable of change and growth no matter our age. The thing is, you are lovable just as you are now. That said, it seems like the way you're currently living and your current beliefs about yourself had closed you off from experience where you'd meet and engage with people who might be interested in you. So this is, yeah, everyone seems to be on the same page here. Personal problem. In life, you've only got personal problems. You don't have business problems, you don't have money problems, you don't have physique problems, you got personal problems. If you take the mindset that everything's your fault, even if it's not, then your life can only get better from there. Take responsibility for everything, treat everything as a personal problem, try and find a way to fix it, and move on. Simple as that. Top Medicine 2159. This guy must be rage bait or severely autistic. Hope you change, man. If you have enough money for video games, get therapy. Bingo. I like it. The message is, if you want to be a sorry cunt, you will be, right? If you want to be sad, depressed, that's up to you. Go for it. I could not care less. I got my own stuff to worry about. But at the end of the day, if you want to be cool, you got to decide that's the way it's going to be. You got to put the work in and you got to make it happen. No one's going to do it for you, especially if you're a young man. Hope you enjoyed this video, boys. Smash the like button, turn the bell on, share it to your grandma, all the good stuff. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.